Hi, this is Josh Bell from Maestro Pottery. Today I'm going to be showing you what it would take to start your own pottery studio in your own home. There are multiple different levels of pottery studio that you can go for, everything from hand building up to wheel throwing up to a full-scale production model. Today I'm going to show you the minimum it would take for you to do hand building and wheel throwing, and hope you enjoy. So to start your pottery adventure, first you need space. That's the number one thing. There are many tools you might need to get started for hand building. I suggest a work table, something solid, something wood, something to be cleaned easy. Plastic tables are good, the ones that kind of fold out, but they can be sometimes a bit bouncy and not quite as sturdy as a wooden table. I'm using an old cutting board as my wedging table, and also it's my rolling table. If you're going to be doing hand building, you're probably going to be doing a lot of slab rolling. I suggest you have a roller. This is what I use. It's just a simple glass bottle, really easy to obtain. As long as it's smooth and perfectly round, you're good. The other things you need for hand building, minimum. I would suggest a fork for scoring, because to connect hand-built pieces, you're scoring and slipping. That's the same for pretty much any pottery. You're going to score and slip. You're going to need a couple of different ribs. This rib is great for smoothing and compressing clay. I have a texture rib and another smoothing metal rib. The other thing you'll need a slip brush and several bowls. These are pretty cheap, easy bowls. You can see all the ones that I have full of glaze and everything. You're going to need a couple of wooden tools just for different things, sculpting, cutting things differently and everything. Here's a couple of other wooden tools that I have and use. So besides those tools and your slip bowl and brush and everything, that's about really all you need to begin hand building. There are places in most cities where you can take your pieces to be fired. Pieces like this one that I just finished, usually it'll cost $2 to $3 a piece or $10 to $20 a kiln load. It depends on where you go. If you don't want to go that route, you can look for secondhand kilns. Facebook and Craigslist, places like that. Just be careful with what you buy because you never know what they went through before. Kilns can be expensive. I have my own kiln here at home. I bought it at the Habitat for Humanity resale shop for like $50. And then I had to buy some new pieces to get it working. So all in all, I got a really good small kiln for about $100. Now, for some of the stuff you don't necessarily need, but might make your life easier. As a hand builder, if you're building mugs and everything, you're going to need handles. And you can pull handles using a bucket and water like this, or you could buy something like this, which is just a handle cutter. These are pretty cheap. You can find them pretty much anywhere. Other things you're going to need are a fettling knife for cutting your clay with. You can use regular X-Acto knives, but they get rusty and you go through a lot of blades that way. Something like this designed for cutting clay is the best. I use Sharpies a lot. This will help you label your glazes. It'll help you label your slip and everything. It'll also help you measure on different boards and everything and help you draw out large 2-size designs. I make a lot of plant pots, so I use a hole borer like this, and then several other sculpting and carving tools that I use, as you can see here. If you look at some of my other videos, you'll see me using these a lot. These here, the pink, green, and blue ones I just recently got, so I'll be happy using them soon. This one right here, this is my #1 carving tool. I use this just about for everything. It helps me undercut, it helps carve in really easily, several things like that. So, another thing you might want to check out is an extruder, such as this. This is a cheap little poly clay tool extruder, but it works well for my purposes here. I don't use it often. It comes with a lot of different dies and everything for different shapes. I'll probably start using it more the more I get into production and everything. So that's the minimum you'll need for hand building stuff. If you're gonna go more advanced, I suggest start collecting things like this, old sour cream tubs with lids. Anything with good lids that seal properly will help you a lot. It keeps things like slip wet to where you don't have to continuously mix. You can keep tubs of water, glazes. Like this is a glaze that I mixed up. It's a purple clear glaze, which is really nice. I suggest towels. Towels are used for everything. Buckets are good. If you're going to be wheel throwing, you do need a wheel. I got this wheel from clayking.com. It's a speedball wheel. I think it's a 1/2 horsepower. It's good enough for my needs here, throwing mugs and vases and things like that. I suggest trim tools. These things here, they're just silicone spatulas that I got at Bed Bath & Beyond a few years ago. I have this one here. I like them because they're really bendy and they're also smooth. I use ribs like this for throwing. This is just a lodge tool for cleaning cast iron, but it's a rigid plastic tool. It works really well. I also have some old casino cards that I've made shapes out of using a Dremel tool. Again, more different shaped ribs, sponges, buckets, wire cutters, trim tools, everything like that. I keep my wheel in my kitchen at my house. So I used some Visqueen and a box to make sure I'm not getting water everywhere. It's just all the way around. You can see underneath how I did it. I have my toolbox filled with pretty much everything I could use. Half of them I don't use, but I never know, I might use them at some point. Really good inexpensive sets to get started. There's a brand called Arteza. You can see it right here. Arteza, there's a 42-piece set for like 20 something bucks, and it comes with a lot of things like this. There's also clayking.com has everything you might need. Yeah, so to get started, that's pretty much all you need. So I realized that I didn't talk about clay. I get my clay from the Crane Yard in Kansas City. I use porcelain or B-Mix, BEEMIX. It's a really good porcelain substitute. It throws a lot like porcelain, but it's a lot cheaper. If you're starting out hand building, I suggest a regular, something like L&R Scott's Body. It's a clay with a lot of grog in it, so it can hold up to a lot of sculptural, really formative pieces. And There are also other places you can get earthenware lower fire clay if you're really in a pinch. I believe you can order clay from blick.com. So yeah, those are some of the clays. I really like the B-Mix clay to throw with, and I really like L&R Scott's Body for hand building. So yeah.